Okay, I think I'm ready. I'm trying to cross stream here. So
Greetings, my fellow expressions of consciousness.
okay, I think I'm ready. I'm trying to cross
Spiritual Awakening Show with Tiger.
stream here. Okay, if I've done everything right, then I'm streaming right now on TikTok, YouTube, and on my podcast. So this is a spiritual awakening, non-duality question and answer podcast with myself. I don't think I can be here much longer than 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. So if you have any questions for me, you'd like to get my perspective, then by all means, let's go. Just seeing people join right now on TikTok. So you can ask a question on YouTube or TikTok. And I shall answer. Oh, I think I just got a question. I'm live on YouTube with 4 viewers. Thank you. So when no one's listening, does that mean no one's there? Can you elaborate on that question? Skyworks 600. What do you mean? When no one's listening, does that mean no one's there? Go as deep as you want to go. Because consciousness is always present. So what do you mean exactly? I think your view of metaphysics is flawed. Okay, but what's your question? Hello everybody in TikTok land as well. When have people jump in and jump out. So, oh, no, not for me. I'm gone. Skywork 600, I'm still waiting for your question. You've just made a statement. You think my metaphysics is flawed, which is a fine statement. But what's your question? You've been deep and came up to resurface. I appreciate you being here, regardless. Okay, I got a question on TikTok. Favorite artists? I assume you mean music. I like all types of musical genres. But if I had to say a favorite artist, it's not really artist, it's a group. And I'm a big Wu-Tang Clan fan. The W. As I said, guys, I don't think I can be here too long, so hit your questions at me. I'm all for the deepness. I don't care how deep you go. I want to help you if that's where this podcast leads to, or I can give you my perspective on life, on reality in general. But really, I want this to be a question and answer. Skywork, you say you don't have any questions. That's fine. As I said, I appreciate you being here anyway. This is the first time I'm trying to cross-platform stream, and I'm sure it's a bit all over the place. Incidentally, as I say this, I do have a podcast. This is my third podcast. So, episode, I should say. Someone said, what you saying, big man? Give your opinion on the COVID jab. The COVID jab. My opinion is it hasn't been pushed in a loving way from the so-called government, so-called media. It's been pushed in a fear energetic vibration. I think everybody can agree with that. And that alone isn't good for one's health, to be in a state of fear. As for people taking it, it's really down to them. But the mind, the mental manipulation and the mental controlling has been over the top. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be happy, everybody wants to be safe. So I think it has been over the top, the pushing for everyone to get it. But if you want to get it, of course get it. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. At the end of the day. I was walking as a way to connect with no duality, non-linear. Do you use movement at all? I assume you mean, do I use movement in a meditative way? Well, I am a dancer, so that says a lot straight away in terms of how I am with movement, my relationship to movement. But when it comes to experiencing, you said non-duality. When it comes to experiencing non-duality, the thing about it is you can't experience non-duality in an objective way, so to speak. What I mean by that is you cannot perceive non-duality with that which is of a subject-object relationship itself, that is the mind. Because when you're using the mind, you're already in that idea that the mind is either what you are, or you are that which is perceiving the mind, which creates two. Non-duality is so underneath our everyday experiencing that it takes something far deeper than trying, than effort to see it. So when it happened to me, for example, it's impossible to really explain with words, but it was not with the mind. It just happened. It was unexplainable. Unexplainable, yet clear. So you can't force the perception of non-duality. It's more of a deep knowing, a deep allowing, a deep non-attaching to anything that is other than pure consciousness, quite frankly. All things are different expressions within the one, Skywork says. Indeed, and I like to say as we are all expressions of consciousness. One second. Somebody wants to be a guest. Hello.
How are you, bro? Good?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. My name is Han Henry.
Han
Nice to meet
Henry.
you, bro.
Nice to meet you. I'm Tiger.
I cannot hear properly. Can you make your voice loud? I cannot hear properly.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Little bit more. I cannot hear. Your sound, your voice coming loud.
I can't go louder than this.
Okay.
Sorry.
Really, I like your videos and what you are talking.
Thank you.
You are teaching others.
I
Are
try.
you American, my friend?
Sorry?
Are you American?
I'm born in England.
Okay. I'm from Sudan.
Oh wow, Sudan. Amazing.
And are you singing?
No. I wish.
But you look to me like a performing singer.
Maybe somebody can teach me to sing, maybe.
I think you can sing.
Did you have a question?
Well, I wanted to meet you very well face to face because I always saw your videos, and thank God I found a chance to speak to you face to face.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah. So what do you do usually?
Usually,
Yeah.
as I said earlier, I teach dancing.
You teach what?
Dancing.
Very nice. I'm living here in UAE, Dubai.
Okay.
Have you ever visited Dubai before?
I have not. Funny you say that. I saw a nice image of Dubai yesterday.
And my friend, originally you're from Africa?
Well, you could say everybody's originally from there, but basically Jamaica. Before that, yeah.
Okay. Very nice. You know Shanze?
Say again?
Shanze, the Jamaican singer.
No, I don't. Shanze.
Yeah, she was in Dubai. She's a
Oh
lady,
no.
actually.
But sorry, brother. Some people have questions, and this is about question and answer for spirituality. So if you have questions, please give me some, or I'm gonna have to end the call. But it was nice to meet you.
Okay, no issue. I just wanted to meet you face to face.
Oh no, respect, no problem.
That I spoke to you. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Thank
My
you.
name is Han Henry. And what's your name before I go?
Tiger, that's my name.
Tanker.
Tiger, like the animal, tiger.
Tiger.
Yes.
Okay, see you, bro.
Peace. So someone said on YouTube, do you believe yourself to be non-physical? 100% the essential I is non-physical. Living things express consciousness. I think you'd be hard-pressed to prove your claim that non-life is conscious. Nobody is saying non-life is conscious. That's one of the sticking points of the non-dual understandings. Many people believe that someone like myself is saying that inanimate objects is literally conscious in a way that you and I can think. I'm not saying that. Not at all. What's being said is that the source of everything is consciousness, because nothing is separate from the perceiver of it. If you're looking at your phone right now, the perceiving of the phone, that perception does not have a split within the perception where your phone can leave your perception and then come into perception. In other words, whatever you are looking at cannot leave consciousness and then come into consciousness. To claim that something exists outside of consciousness is the biggest claim there is. To say that something exists outside of consciousness. Because that's what is meant when people believe that physicality is a real thing. You're essentially saying that so-called consciousness came from dead inert matter, dead inert things that don't move. When that's not our experience. Our experience is what? We are conscious. When reality is within our perception, we are conscious. To say that something exists outside of consciousness is the biggest claim going, as I said. When you are dreaming, my friends, the hard rock, the inanimate objects within your dream are not conscious in a thinking terms. They don't think in your dreams. They don't figure out mathematics in your dreams. They are inanimate objects. Alas, those rocks, those inanimate objects within your dream are still made out of consciousness because they're made out of your mind. Rocks don't come from outside of your dream into your dream. Unless anyone can prove that, you're going to have a hard time, I suggest, proving that. Your mind produces a whole 3D world, apparently. You have to look at what is primary. And what is always primary is a simple fact. The fundamental fact that, call it awareness, call it consciousness, is always present. No matter what you say, whether you say materialistic notions of universe is the correct one, consciousness is there. Whether you say consciousness is the independent nature of reality, consciousness is obviously there. Whether you don't give a damn about the nature of reality, consciousness is there. Whether you are sleeping or not, consciousness is there. It's the only thing that isn't a thing. Meaning, you cannot find it, yet it's self-evident. This person on YouTube says, consciousness is an emergent phenomenon. Emerging from what? And I hope you don't say the brain. I hope you do not say the brain, my friend. Don't do it to yourself. Don't say consciousness comes from the brain. Don't be a materialist religious person. Don't fall on that dogma that you cannot prove, that you can only believe. Don't do it to yourself. Look within your own experience. Do not say consciousness comes from the brain, but I'm waiting though. I'm waiting. Where does consciousness come from? Where does it emerge from? Who's perceived? Who? I'm asking everybody right now. Who has perceived consciousness emerging from an object? I'm asking everybody. I'm asking the whole world. Who has perceived in the history of reality consciousness emerging from a thing, from an object? Because that person would have solved all of reality. Someone says on TikTok, hello, and hello to you. How do I reality shift? Good question. All questions are good questions, you could argue, but because it always brings us to new perspectives, new angles of how to answer a question, whether it's the same question or not. So reality shifting, the thing about reality shifting is you're always doing it. You don't have to do anything. Notice how a moment is literally subjective. Meaning you cannot measure how long a moment is. It's just whatever a moment is to you. If I said, how long has this moment been? It wouldn't even make sense because I'm just saying this. What is this moment? Is it this moment? Is it this moment? You see, a moment even is an idea, which is fine. Reality shifting is basically every change. No matter how subtle the change is or how big the change is, that is essentially what I suggest to you is a moment. Now try to see a moment. This is quite tricky to do, but try to see a moment as like a snapshot in time, a screenshot, if you will. Because for example, this moment with my hand on your screen right now is not the same as this moment. Because my hand is no longer on the screen. But if I put my hand back, this moment is still not the same moment. Because now we have thoughts of when I did this the first time. So every single so-called moment, every single change is a whole new reality. Because that reality includes everything but at least one thing. It includes everything but at least one thing. Which will always be at least a memory. Because we get new memories, new memories, new memories, of course. So you're always shifting, always shifting, always shifting. You're shifting now, 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 now. But here's the thing. That which is shifting isn't actually you. You are the observer of the change. You are the same observer that was aware you had a 5-year-old body, a 10-year-old body, an 11-year-old body. The body you have now. That observer didn't change. You're still you, right? What changed was the scene in front of you. Body, other people, your perceptions, your senses, deeper voice. That's what changed. You're like watching a movie from your seat as pure consciousness, watching the different slides, which are like different shifts in reality. Who controls the change then? If it's us, why can we change it? How? I assume you mean why can't we change it? Yeah. Why can't we change it how we want? Let me just say that again for the listeners on a podcast. This question is, who controls the change then? If it's us, why can't we change it how we want? You can. First of all. Secondly, that which changes reality isn't solely your thoughts. Your thoughts are, of course, a part of it, because that's where the desire is, and also in emotions. But it's not solely coming from that place. If it was solely coming from your thoughts and emotions, you could obviously just think of the sky raining bananas and it would happen. The change of reality is an infinite happening. No beginning to it, no end to it. It just is. Changing your reality is only going to be to the degree that you really believe and allow for reality to change to what you want. But at the same time, what I personally believe, this is just an opinion, is that there are certain rules, to use a word, or a law, to use another word, or logic, where some things simply cannot be for the reality we are living in right now. Because as this one consciousness, we've collectively agreed on this reality. For us to agree on a reality where cars can fly, there would have to be more of us, because we are all that one consciousness, putting in that energy. Similar to how we all agree money is real. When if you went back years ago, obviously it would be, nah, it's not real, it's fake, it's an idea. So try not to see changing reality as a massive change. A massive change, I can't answer that for you. I don't believe personally you can make a massive change in the sense of you're a black man and then you turn into, I don't know, a cheetah. I don't believe that type of reality shift is possible, but realities incrementally, because our mind currently is only able to hold on to small changes, it wouldn't simply work. Which is why psychedelics, you see different things because your mind has expanded. This person on YouTube says, I like you, but I'm not aligned with your beliefs. Totally fine. A moment is a point in time. Define time. Moments are extension in time. Define time. You have to define time, my friend. Don't just throw out the word time if we're going deep right now. What is time? It's also subjective. That's my point. We literally, in England, for example, just put the clocks back. So did we literally move time backwards? And then we're going to put it forward again in the spring? What is time? It's an idea. What we know is change, and then we superimpose the idea of change, of time, upon the change. That's what happens. And you're saying all things emerge out of the source, but what is that source? That's what I asked you. Now, I have nothing wrong with what you just said there, but what is the source? And I said to you, are you going to say it's the brain? I'm still waiting. What is the source? Personally, I think it's God. This person says, personally, I think, let me lift this up. Personally, I think it makes sense that there is the absolute observer, God, who controls all. There is us who witness the absolute and are here to recognize its gifts. Is there anything wrong with this view? Wrong in and of itself, no, because from the highest perspective, wrong and right, quite frankly, is arbitrary. But within this conversation, this self-inquiry, this question and answer perspective, I would say yes, wrong. In a sense that as soon as we say that there's an being, a type of being, a God that is separate from us, we then actually slip into duality, ironically. Because then that so-called God would have to exist separately from us, which means there will be two aspects to reality, us and it. Then the question would be, what is the us and it, God, within? If we can say there's two, then there must be something that distinguishes that there is two. Whether an observer of the two or the space around the two that enables us to perceive that there is two. Which I suggest is the problem with the religious beliefs as well. Is it the exact problem? When we say God is a separate entity, it actually creates duality. And the funny thing about... So this person is on YouTube has just said, time is an accumulation of moments. I already just said, how long is a moment? It's subjective. Come on. You know this. We all know this. Therefore, it's not a thing. The hardest thing for the mind to do is to accept what is. It's the hardest thing. The mind to just accept what is, and that's it. What is. The mind wants to work out. But actually what is simply is. It's an enigma. It's beyond the mental comprehension. To pick this up again, excuse me. So it says, you say, could you re-explain why having two types of reality is impossible? I view it as God is necessary being. We are contingent beings. It depends what you mean by we. This is what I'm saying. And the whole idea of awakening is that you come to see that you are not what you thought you were. You are not this body-mind construct. You actually are that source. Is the acceptance of the suchness of what is enough for the recognition? Somebody else says. 100%. I like how you worded that. And this is the point. Going back to the last person. Saying that... 1 second. Saying that God is one reality and we are another reality. Well, as I said before, it simply creates a split of reality, and that's just imagination, with all respect. There has to be something that is not contingent. I agree, but that which isn't contingent upon our body-mind construct is actually the source, which is us. Somebody says, another nice question. What is it about the acceptance that leads to the recognition of the background of pure consciousness? I can answer that straight away. I love that question so much. You got me there. You got me in my feelings. What it is that allows us to accept the background, the source, when we accept what is that what we truly are as this pure consciousness is that which is always whole. Because it's always whole, it doesn't have to do anything. Try not to see consciousness as that which does things. It just is. It's just a substance, so to speak. It just is. And that substance is made out of, so to speak, that which is aware. It's not something that needs to use energy. It perceives energy. It's not something that needs a body. It perceives the body. It's not something that needs to speak. It perceives speaking. So when we accept the here and now, we become closer to our true self as that. Actually, I really have to go in like 5 minutes. Thank you, YouTube, and thank you, TikTok. I'll do one more question. Another question here is, do you deny attributes for God to keep him pure? The fact that you said that, I like the question, I'm not laughing at you. The fact that you said that kind of shows me that you're getting it. Exactly that. Anything that we say that God has, does do, is already going too far. It's already doing too much. It limits that which we call God. God has to be devoid of all limitations to be God. Otherwise, it might as well just be an ant. It has to be untouched by reality completely. And this is why the issue of making God a thinking being that has preferences limits that pure ocean of consciousness to that which it is not. We within our society, our world, we conceptualize things, which is fine. And that's all we're doing. We're conceptualizing God to be a type of person. But ultimately, it has no need for personhood. We have need for personhood to keep us as individual beings. As believing we are individual beings. But that which is ultimate by definition is ultimate. You cannot be ultimate and also have a finite part of you. There was a sermon in my religion that I'd love to get your thoughts on. You would love it, I promise. Excuse me. It explains why God has no attributes. Could you say the sermon now? Could you text it now? Oh, and just as I look away to my YouTube, someone said, the same person, God is an abstract construct imagined by minds. I agree 100%. Okay, live chat doesn't allow much letters. That's fine. As I said, I wanted to go after one more question anyway. Thank you, everyone. Sincerely, this is my first time trying a cross-platform streaming. I don't know how it went. Appreciate you, Skyworks600 on YouTube for the back and forth. Appreciate you on YouTube, on TikTok as well. We have, can't really read that properly. Is it my phone? It's too dark. Okay. Oh, the Doubt Finessa. Who else was here? Jacob. It was mainly you two. Oh, somebody said what happens after you die. I missed that. Death isn't a thing, but we can continue that another time. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day or evening. My fellow expressions of consciousness. Peace, and peace to you, YouTube, as well.